This NBA MLK Day Betting Picks edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S.-based and legal in 40 states. Head to cut.com, that's KUTT.com, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And we're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store, 15% off of everything when you use promo code PLAYOFFS. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Monday, January 15th, MLK Day. Here to get into our NBA betting picks for the Monday schedule. A full day of games starting at 1 o'clock Eastern today, but we're going to get to all of it. But joining me here to help me break it all down, you guys know him as the villain, the superstar of the show. It's Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, how's it going, my man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great. I am here on a great MLK Day, and we are going to figure out if the Hawks are going to taint Martin Luther King's legacy today. The Hawks still looking for that double-digit win ATS. Still looking for that double-digit win ATS. We'll see if they taint his legacy or not.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I know you have some stats about the jerseys. We'll get into that when we do get to that game here. But yeah, here's your MLK Day. We get it, obviously the NBA honoring MLK Day, not only in the NBA, but all across the country as well. Jordan, you want to add anything about MLK Day? And then we can recap the weekend before we get into the picks here for the Monday card.
No, man. I mean, it's really just, bro, do something nice for somebody else. Like, go do some community service, do something nice. Like, put other people ahead of yourself. That's what Martin Luther King was all about. Like, he was really about putting other people over himself, help elevating, African Americans in this country that really didn't have much in the height of Jim Crow. So, yeah, man, it's a good day. My fraternity goes and does community service every single MLK Day. And so, yeah, I appreciate everybody that's out there doing community service, find any way to donate, help out, anything like that. But let's get to these games, man. This is why the people are here. I like to spread the awareness, and I'm glad we're spreading the awareness for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, all throughout the NBA, like I mentioned, they'll be honoring MLK Day, but not only in the NBA, all across the country. So do your part. Like Terrell said, echo everything that he said. Help others out, be nice, go donate if you can, go do some charity work, whatever the case might be, whatever's in your heart, but just be nice to each other and definitely help each other out. That's pretty much what it's all about. All right, Terrell, let's just get into it, man. We got early starts here. The first game kicks off in about less than 2 hours here. It's going to be the Houston Rockets. They are in Philly to take on the former Philadelphia Rockets. Currently the Sixers are a 7.5-point favorite in this game with a total of 228. Let's get to the injury report here. For the Houston Rockets, Tari Eason is going to be missing this game. And that is pretty much it for the Rockets. For the Philadelphia 76ers, Robert Covington and DeAnthony Melton are out. Mo Bamba is doubtful. And Joel Embiid is officially questionable here today for the Philadelphia 76ers. Terrell, let's start with side here, minus 7.5. in favor of the Sixers hosting the Houston Rockets.
Let's see here, 7.5. And Houston's coming off of that loss at Boston. Is that the last game that I remember seeing Houston in where they got
destroyed? That was on Saturday.
Yeah, 145, 113, and Ime Udoka's return back to Boston. Man, I think what it really is for me is that Joel Embiid is playing, so this game could be over in 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I really, that's really like what the handicap is for me. I know this 7.5 is a pretty large number, and I saw somebody in the chat talking about hopefully no blowouts today because the National Blowout Association has been going crazy over the past week or so, I would really say, with the number of blowouts we've been seeing. But I think this could be the same situation because you have this Houston Rockets team that when you look at what they're doing over the past 5 games, they're scoring and they're scoring intermediately. They're scoring okay. 113 to Boston, 112 to Detroit. That's actually really not that good. 119 in a loss to Chicago, 113 in a loss to Miami, and 108. Oh, I'm sorry, 112 in that win at home against the Bucks. Like, they're kind of hovering that 111, 113, 112 range in the range of scoring, and playing against this Philadelphia defense, a defense that has been able to get up a few times, especially when Joel Embiid is up in the lineup. I
Mhm.
really, really think I'm just going to roll with chalk and go with Philadelphia here, because I think this could be over in 3 quarters. I think Joel Embiid has the matchup nightmare where nobody's really going to be able to contest him on the inside. And it's going to be on the Rockets to score to keep up with the 76ers in this game. And I'm not 100% certain that they'll do it. I think Philly could get to 125, 130.
Yeah, I think for the Rockets, like you mentioned, that if it's Şengün that's going to be matched up on Joel Embiid, and he tends to get into foul trouble. And now, if Joel Embiid does end up playing, I think he got upgraded to probable. But um, I think you nailed it, right? It's going to be a matchup nightmare for the Houston Rockets. That again, if Şengün's not able to stay out of foul trouble, then who's really going to guard Joel Embiid here? So
Who's going to score? If
exactly,
he's in foul trouble, who's scoring? Şengün's a 20-point per game scorer at this point.
yeah. Um, Anthony also mentioning this point as well. Houston on the fifth game of the road tour, they failed to cover the first four as well. So, I mean, we've
Mhm.
known all season long they haven't been very good on the road. I think that those failures continue here today here as well for the Houston Rockets. So I'm gonna lay the chalk here with you with the with the Philadelphia 76ers minus 7.5. And you also mentioned, right? The alarms kind of went off to me when they were only able to score 13 points against the Detroit Pistons. And Pistons
Mhm.
have been one of the worst defense, if not the worst defense, not only season long, but also over the last
They
five
almost
games
lost the
as
game.
well.
They almost
Yeah,
lost the
yeah,
game. 9-point
yeah.
favorites. Almost lost the game.
Yep. All right, let's get to the total here. Terrell, anything on that? 228?
I don't know if Houston's going to score in this game. I really don't know if Houston's going to score. Give me a Philly team total over or a Houston team total under. If I had to combine them together, I would probably just go under for the game, because it's a possibility that Houston doesn't get to 100 here. Like, if you're missing Şengün's production, and we know how up and down Jalen Green's really been this season, it's kind of been a step back, and it kind of seems like he just doesn't fit this Rockets plan anymore. And
Mhm.
then Fred VanVleet's going to go some 30% on some 10, 11, 12 shots or something like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I really don't know who's scoring for Houston today. So I think I feel better with the Houston team total under. This is really a fate of Houston.
Yeah, I think the first half under is something I was intrigued by. Obviously, with the early start, it's not the usual start time for both of these teams. They usually play around that 6, 7 Eastern time mark, or sorry, the 7, 8 Eastern time mark. But
Mhm.
I think they may have some slow legs. Maybe we start to see some scoring in the second half. Then, but I do like the first half under in this game at 112. Player props. Anything you're looking at?
Yeah, it's not out yet, but wait till closer to game time, maybe like an hour or two before, a little bit closer. And Joel Embiid, free throws made. I mean, you look at what Houston's doing over the past 5 games, and they are 28th, tied 28th, ironically, with this Philadelphia 76ers team. So it might be a lot of fouls to go around in this game. But Houston's tied 28th in terms of free throws allowed to the opposing team over the past 5 games. Joel Embiid, we know how he is, and he's going to go inside. He's going to get fouled, get to the line. He's going to hit his free throws. And so I don't have a line out for him yet. I know I like Joel Embiid to have a big game, but if you like that free throw prop, I've been cashing it really lately, Munaf, too, just playing it on my own, looking at teams that get foul a lot, give up a lot of free throws, and then taking one of the best people to get to the line, and they get over the number. Embiid normally is at about 10 free throws. I think he could be in for 13, 14 today.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I mean, we know that Joel Embiid gets the whistle, he gets the contact, he gets opposing big men into foul trouble. He's very efficient from the floor, but he's also a good free throw shooter as well. So can't argue against that. I really didn't have any player props that I did like for this game. I'd be tempted by Şengün unders because we mentioned that if he is in foul trouble,
Yeah.
his PRA is at 36.5. But the one guy that's been hooping for this Rockets team, man, Jabari Smith, man, he's been doing real well. Not only scoring the basketball, but also rebounding the basketball. His points and rebound number right now is at 22.5.
Hmm.
I know he had a slow game against the Celtics, but they got blown out in that game. Prior to that, 19-11, 18-15, 14-12. So I think that if Şengün does get into foul trouble here, I think that rebound responsibility is going to fall on Jabari Smith Jr. So I don't hate that points and
I
rebounds
think
at
that's a good
42
little
and a
same
half.
game parlay. That's a good little same game parlay opportunity here
Yeah.
very early on. So hey, make sure you're listening youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast. This game is going to tip off not too much longer after this gets out on podcast version. So this is why you
Yeah.
tap in with the YouTube. But I think that's a good little same game parlay. You think Joel Embiid is going to get off and do his regular thing, and then we fade Şengün because he probably got into foul trouble, and we back Jabari Smith. Like that.
Yep.
That sounds really good to me. So I like it. Question
All
for
right.
you though, Munaf.
Yeah. What you got?
Have the Rockets struggles lately because they got off to a fast start this season? Have their struggles lately been because they gave all their talent to the Texans?
I think so. I think with the success that the Texans are having, somebody's got to sacrifice, right? The Astros aren't playing right now. So the Rockets, at home, they've been dominant. On the road, they've been terrible. But hey, man, give all the powers to CJ Stroud. The dude is hooping. I mean, he's balling right now. Is CJ Stroud. We'll see who we play next week. But we'll save that conversation for later time. All right, Terrell, anything else for this game?
Now let's go.
All right, before we get over to the next game here, let me tell everyone about DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll help make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet $5 on any game to get 200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code SGP. New customers can bet just $5 to get 200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus, age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dkng.com/football for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Hey, right, for that DraftKings play of the day. DraftKings SGP play of the day.
Well, we just put that same. You want to do that right now? Or you want to save it?
I already have it ready. I did it while you was doing the read.
Let it rip.
Hey, Jabari Smith double.
Okay.
Joel Embiid 35 plus points. Okay. Alperen Şengün under 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
What does that get us?
8-1.
I like it.
Nice little morning builder. Nice little morning builder. Şengün has a rough day. Jabari Smith picks up the slack, and Joel Embiid does what he normally does.
Love it. All right, let's get to the next game here, Terrell. We got the New Orleans Pelicans. They are in Dallas to take on the Mavericks. Currently, the Pelicans are a 4.5-point favorite in this game with a total of 236.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the New Orleans Pelicans, guys that are probable: B.I., C.J. McCollum, Trey Murphy III, Zion, and Cody Zeller. Guys that are out, and nobody of significance other than Matt Ryan. For the Dallas Mavericks, Luka is doubtful here today. Dante Exum has already been ruled out, and Derek Jones Jr. is doubtful as well. And Derek Lively, the second, is questionable, and Maxi Kleber is probable. So just to recap, Exum is officially ruled out. Dontage and Derek Jones Jr. are doubtful. Derek Lively is questionable, and Maxi Kleber is probable. Second game in 3 nights here in Dallas for the New Orleans Pelicans. Zion did not play in that game 2 nights ago on Saturday, but Terrell, Zion did say Dallas is his favorite road city. But what are you thinking here? Pelicans minus 4.5.
That boy a freak. A freak. That's why he might have to be on his unders today, just because he might be low on testosterone playing in Dallas tonight. That boy knows something about Dallas. All right, so we have the automatic rematch. These two teams just played a 10-point loss by New Orleans at 6-point favorites.
Let me see.
No, 10-point win. I'm sorry. 10-point win by
won.
New Orleans at 6-point dogs. I was reading that wrong. So 10-point favorite, 10-point win by New Orleans as dogs. Now we're getting Dallas as a dog. This is the deja vu game. And I mean, at this point, Honestly, I think it's just more respect to the deja vu game and the fact that now you have this Dallas team where, yeah, without Luca, but I don't think they've looked like it's been up and down. It feels like it's been up and down since Luca's come out. They get a really, really good win against the Knicks, like a really, really good win against the Knicks. I'm really kind of disappointed that uh, the Knicks actually kind of made a comeback and ended up making that game interesting at the end. And that kind of gives me pause for concern for Dallas. And thinking about that Cavs game a few weeks ago, this Knicks game here, there's multiple times at home that I've seen this team blow leads that they've had and get out to really big leads. So that kind of makes me want to look at something early with Dallas in this game. But I'm leaning more towards the Dallas side, taking the points and just respect to the deja vu game and taking the other side.
Yeah, I think that, we've talked about it a lot on the pod that when they have people that play, or sorry, two teams that play, those kind of mini series at back to back, same opponent, that usually the first team that wins and covers, that other team comes back, especially if they are a home dog, they come back and either at least cover the spread or win outright. So I was leaning towards the Dallas side here as well. I think that, I think Kyrie had a big game as well on Saturday, but they need somebody else to step up, right? Whether that's Tim Hardaway Jr., whether that is going to be the 3-point shooters around the Dallas Mavericks. I think that's going to be the important part here today for the Dallas Mavericks is knocking down their 3-point shots. You take a look in that game on Saturday. The Mavericks were, they were pretty efficient from the 3-point line. They were 15 of 41. They just got out rebounded by the Pelicans plus 10. They gave up 5 more offensive rebounds in that game as well. So I think there's a good bounce back spot here for the Dallas Mavericks. So I'll take the points here with the Mavericks. Total is sitting at 236.5 here, Terrell. What are you thinking about that?
I kind of want to go over.
So I'll say this, that the New Orleans Pelicans have been the third most offensive efficient team over the last 5 games here. They've been able to put up the points. I think that, can we trust Dallas to get the points here as well?
Yeah. I mean, I like Dallas to keep it close. And I'm really not too afraid of Dallas defensively. I think they do have not Dallas, but New Orleans defensively. I do think they have a lot of length that's really gonna fuck with the guards, like a Josh Green. And Josh Green is my guy, but I think that length really could mess with this team this go around. But I trust Kyrie Irving, man. Yeah. I trust Kyrie Irving to get this done. Tim Hardaway Jr. And I think Derek Lively, if he's able to go in this one, the rim protection that he's going to add to this team, probably going to be a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to go over. I think this team could score.
Yeah, you brought up a great point about Kyrie. He had a 33-point game in that last game on Saturday in 40 minutes, 12 of 27 from the floor, 5 of 14 from 3-point land. But somebody else needs to step up as well, like you mentioned. I do like the over in this game. I think the pace will be high in this game as well. I think we'll see a better shooting night from Kyrie himself as well. I mean, he was 12 of 27 from the floor, less than 50% in that game on Saturday. But Tim Hardaway Jr. chipped in with 24. Derek Jones had 24 in that game as well. So he needs somebody like you mentioned, either Josh Green to step up, or it's either
Jaden Hardy to come off the bench.
Grant Williams. These guys need to knock down their 3-point shots. I think that's going to be the key here today.
It just feels like New Orleans is a very, very public side, and I don't want to be on that side today.
Yeah, that makes sense. Player props. Anything you're looking at?
Well, I'm telling you, the Zion under is tempting, man. Zion under is tempting, but I'm not gonna mess with Zion today because Zion it's something between me and Zion right now where he just doesn't want to go get with the program. So I'm sticking with one Kyrie Irving. I just don't think anything's changing from that first matchup. I think Kyrie's gonna, if anything, Kyrie may end up becoming a passer slightly more in this game and dishing out a little bit more assists. So I could be looking at his assist line, but I'm not there yet. But Kyrie points prop is sitting at 33.5. And I think that it's inflated because they know he's about to cook. Like, Kyrie's been amazing recently. This is the Kyrie Irving that we missed, and this is the Kyrie Irving we want to see going forward, even with Luka in the lineup.
Yeah. Obviously, like you mentioned, because that number's at 33.5. Without Luka in there, like, what Luka was doing when Kyrie wasn't in that lineup. I think that's what Kyrie Irving has to do now without Luka in the lineup. So he did have 33 in that last matchup. But again, we know that the minutes are going to be there for Kyrie. The shot volume is going to be there for him as well. Just a little bit more efficient if he can be. He could definitely get over this number here for the Dallas
His
Mavericks.
last 4 games, 33, 44, 33, 35.
Yeah, there we go. I was looking at Valanciunas rebounds in this game. If Zion doesn't end up playing in this game, he had 12 in the matchup on Saturday, did Valanciunas, and we know that opposing centers tend to do pretty well against the Dallas Mavericks as far as
Yeah.
rebounding
Your
wise.
elite and rebounder is going to get theirs.
Yeah, so it's either going to be Zion or Valanciunas in this game. Valanciunas right now is at 9.5 rebounds.
I'd hammer that.
Yeah,
I think
and I think that's a good
he should
ladder
get
opportunity.
Yeah. He should get to 10. He should really get to 10.
Yeah, that was a one I was looking at. Anything else for this game?
No. I just I really think it's too easy to go to New Orleans here. Everybody's gonna look and say, "Oh, they lost to this team, and they didn't have Brandon Ingram playing, they didn't have Zion playing, they didn't have CJ playing, and now they're Trey Murphy didn't play. Now all those guys are gonna play today." And it feels, I don't know, man. I don't know. It feels trappy. It feels very, very trappy.
And especially only add 4.5. I thought that number would be a little bit more if all those guys were end up playing.
Yeah.
Back to that Sixers game, Joel Embiid is a true game time decision, but if he does end up playing, he won't have a minutes restriction. So I wanted to point that out for the Rockets in the Sixers game. All right, Terrell, before we get over to the next game on the afternoon schedule, at least, let me tell everyone about the newest sponsor on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That is going to be Cut. Cut is a peer-to-peer social betting platform that's U.S.-based and legal in 40 states. Peer-to-peer social betting is a new and better way to bet. Bet directly against your friends or other users on sports, politics, pop culture, and other events with verifiable outcomes, and it's a ton of fun using their social features that give it a feel of a betting social network. Cut offers lower vig and fully customizable odds to create your own bets. Cut even handles the payment side of things, so you never have to chase anyone down for money. They have great social features like group chats, betting leaderboards, head-to-head history, user profiles, fan groups, and much more. They also have a rewards program. Get cash back every single time you bet against your friends or other users. Remember, Cut is the peer-to-peer social betting platform that's US-based and legal in 40 states. Head to cut.com, that's KUTT.com, and use promo code SGPN for a 10% deposit bonus. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy has a way to play alongside your favorite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, and college football. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy sets and cash in. Wait till the end of the episode. Terrell and I will put together our Underdog Fantasy entry for the Monday games here. So watch along. Maybe make a little cash over on the Underdog's mobile app or their website. Just go to underdogfantasy.com, and when you sign in with promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit of up to $100. Again, that's Underdog Fantasy using promo code SGPN. All right, Charles, let's get to the next game on the schedule here. Let's go over to the Mecca, the Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks, they are hosting the Orlando Magic in this game. Currently, the Knicks are a 6.5-point favorite with a total of 20.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams here, for the Orlando Magic, Wendell Carter Jr. is questionable. Gary Harris is out, and Franz Wagner is going to be out for this game as well. The New York Knicks, the only questionable tag in this game is actually going to be Jalen Brunson, so keep an eye out for that. So let's start with the side here, minus 6.5 in favor of the New York Knicks. What are you thinking about this spread?
My nemesis, the Orlando Magic. Well, the Knicks nemesis, not mine. I don't claim the team that much. But the Orlando Magic have given the Knicks problems in the past. And I very much remember the Knicks being in a playoff hunt and losing a random game to the Orlando Magic. I remember Terrence Ross coming to Madison Square Garden and giving the Knicks 30 as, the Jordan player of the game. The Orlando Magic won the last 2 meetings between these two teams. One last season. They won earlier this season in Orlando, 117, 108. All 5 meetings, or all 4 of the past few meetings, actually have gone under. It's been a pretty much same game script of this game is a little bit low scoring, and the Magic find a way to hang around. And the only really way that the Magic don't hang around is if they just kind of blow it late. I mean, the Knicks have covered a 7.5 point meeting. They covered -1.5 once, but that was a close game. That was a 3-point game, 4-point game at that time when they won that one. And then you got the Orlando Magic winning the last two. This is kind of their Achilles heel. I've seen this story too many times. I'm not going to trust this Knicks team playing the Magic, especially laying this number.
Yeah, I couldn't get to a side here, obviously, with the news about Jalen Brunson, if he's going to be playing in this game or not. But I mean, you nailed it. I think my favorite play in this game is actually going to be the under. Since 2015, the under is 19-8-1. And like Terrell mentioned, the last 4 meetings have all gone under the total. And on top of that, over the last 5 games, the Orlando Magic are the 3rd worst offensive efficient team in the association. They are right down there with the Charlotte Hornets and the the Portland Trailblazers. Brooklyn is right there as well. That's the 4th worst. But Orlando Magic, they just, without walking that lineup for whatever reason, they just haven't been able to produce a lot of points. It's really been on the back of Paolo Banchero and what he can do for you offensively. And we know what the defense has been for this New York Knicks team with the trade of OG Anunoby, right? Over the last 5 games, the number 1 defensive rated team is the New York Knicks. So I think this number is a little too high here. Give me the under in this game as my favorite play. If I had to pick on the side, gun to my head, I'd lean with the New York Knicks, but I'm not going to have money on that. But I will have money on the under here at 220.5 here, Terrell.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks win the game and it finds a way to be a 1 point, not 1 point, but like 1 possession game. So
possession, yeah.
Yeah, so I love the under. I think the under is my favorite play as well, under 220.5. But I'll lean to Orlando plus 6.5.
Any player props you're looking at?
Let's see who goes off in Madison Square Garden on MLK Day. Let's see. What are the good options? I don't really have
Suggs points.
Hey man, he's been really good. I was really just looking at that. He's been really good for what, the past 2 weeks now straight.
Yeah, he's coming off of 2 rough games here over the last 2 games where he's only had 11 points combined. But prior to that, 20 against the Timberwolves, 16 against the Hawks, 27 against the Denver Nuggets. So
24 against the 24 against the Kings. After that, you had a little dud against Golden State, and another couple games. It really seems like he has a 2-game span when he goes cold, and then he picks it back up. 21 against the Knicks in that first meeting. I remember that one, and that 20 against Philadelphia a couple of nights before that. This might be Jalen Suggs. Might be the answer. That might be our Jordan player of the game. Let's roll with Jalen Suggs here.
I think it's a good ladder opportunity as well.
Yeah, let's see what DraftKings has the ladder opportunity in the construction zone for Jalen Suggs today. Let's see here. We have Jalen Suggs, all 15 plus points is plus 215. That's a great price. He had 21 against this team last time around. Okay, 15 is plus 215. 18 on DraftKings is plus 475.
Yeah, I think we definitely got to get down on that for sure. This number seems a little bit short here for Jalen Suggs, especially a guy that's, like we mentioned, has been doing it over the past several or the last 2 weeks, but also he's also getting the minutes as well for this Orlando Magic team. So yeah, 100% with you on that. Anything else for this game? No, what you got?
No, it's just that, it's no Franz Wagner. You talked about that earlier. No Franz Wagner in this game. He was in the first matchup. He had 32. And so Franz Wagner was a really, and maybe it's Okiku. Maybe, or how you pronounce? Yeah, Okiku.
Okiki, yeah.
Okiki, yeah. Maybe it's him. Maybe the size is the issue for New York Knicks here. Like there could be an option, but I'm rolling with Jalen Suggs. Jalen Suggs had 21 that first matchup. He's been cold the past 2 games. This is a nice little get back spot, and he's going to get the attempts with Wagner out with that starting lineup. So I really like that play. Let's roll with Jalen Suggs today.
All right, let's get over to the next game of the afternoon here. We got the San Antonio Spurs. They are headed to Atlanta to take on the Hawks. Hawks are currently a 8-point favorite in this game with a total of 246.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the San Antonio Spurs, Doug McDermott is questionable here with a right ankle sprain, and Zach Collins continues to be out. For the Atlanta Hawks, DeAndre Hunter continues to be out as well. Wesley Matthews is out as well for the Atlanta Hawks. Other than that, pretty healthy squad here, Terrell. I know we talked about it a little bit at the top of the show. I know the Hawks have not been very good against the spread here, but let's start with the side here. -8 in favor of the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, the Atlanta Hawks have not been good against the spread. If I am reading this correctly, they're still looking for that double-digit win against the spread this season, and it's MLK Day, which is pretty brutal. All right. So if we look at the history of the Hawks on MLK Day, they played a lot of games here. They win 68% of the time that they play on MLK Day. That is actually second in the NBA. Only one team is better, and that is Golden State. Over the history, I think Golden State has some 30 games played. The Hawks have 32 games played. Like, they played a lot of games here. I can't trust this Hawks team for anything. I don't care what. I really, at this point, honestly, truly, I don't care about anything, any positive thing that you could tell me about this Hawks team. I'm just going to continue fading them and continue winning. There's nothing positive that you could say for this game that would get me to bet the Hawks today, especially laying 8.5, especially when they played this team. When was it? Earlier this season, and they were laying about this same number. Yeah. And they ended up winning by 2 and gave up 135 points. That was on the road. So, hey, maybe that's it. But then you look at the Hawks at home, 3-13 at home. I don't know, man. There's I'll let you move off. Maybe you have something good for the Hawks, but there's nothing good that you could say for the Hawks that would make me bet them. There's no reason. I would just rather not bet them.
I can, because you take a look at their last 2 games, they gave up 126 to the Pacers. I think that was a game without Hallie, and they lost that game by 18. They lost to the Wizards by 28 points. These are at home. They gave up 127 in that game, and now you have the San Antonio Spurs with Wembanyama playing in this game, and you're laying 8.5 points. I know the Spurs have been the second worst team in the entire association, right there with the Detroit Pistons. But for a team that's 3-14 against the spread at home, 6-11 straight up, I can't do it, man. Hey, maybe they do get their first double-digit victory at home this season, or at least covering the spread of 8, and more power to them. But my money cannot be on the Atlanta Hawks. If you want to bet the Atlanta Hawks, I would probably look at them in the first half, because they've been squandering leads in the second half, and they've been getting outscored in the second half by a margin of around minus about, I think it's around 5.2 points in that second half. So they led teams back into the second half. I think my more favorite play might be on the total here. They are 12-5 towards the over in their home games, averaging close to 250 points per game in those home games here. And we know how bad San Antonio's defense is as well here, Terrell. So I like the over in this game here as well. And how bad that defense has been, you probably want to maybe also look at a Spurs team total over in this game here, Terrell.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I like the Spurs team total over. I like the game over. This Hawks defense is horrible. They're terrible inside the paint, points in the paint. They're last in the NBA over the past 5 games. I think that a lot of easy points are going to come for not the Hawks, but come for the Spurs here. And yeah, shout out to my guy, Parlay Ray. He said first quarter Hawks, Spurs full game. That just kind of plays into what you were saying of the Hawks getting out into a fast start. And I think they can really get into a fast start here as MLK Day. You've had a really, really rough season. You typically play well on this day. And so getting out to a fast start, but they collapse, man. They collapse. It's really, really bad getting killed at home the previous 2 games. I'm all over fading the Hawks here. Let me get a line on that Hawks first quarter Spurs money line, because I actually really like that play.
Yeah, like I mentioned, right? Like Hawks have been really good in that first quarter and first half, like Parlay Ray's mentioning, and they just squander leads in the second half for whatever reason. And I think that will we be surprised if the Spurs go into Atlanta and beat them? No, I don't think I would.
Everybody else is doing it. Why can't they do it? Everybody else going into Atlanta. The Wizards just went into Atlanta and beat them by 22.
Yes. No. So the Wizards went in there. Here, I just had in front of me where the screen go.
20,
So Wizards won
28
by
points.
28. Yeah. Pacers
28.
won by 18.
8-point favorite. You lost by 28 to the
Yeah.
Wizards.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to take this team. I mean, I get it. It probably is it a bounce back spot? Is it all probably so? I just rather not bet the game. I just rather not bet the game.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely gonna be on the over in this game. I do think we'll see points being put up in this game here. So over for sure for me at 246.5. All right, player props here. Terrell, what are we looking at? Parlay racing, it's plus 850 first quarter Hawks full game Spurs.
That's a nice juicy price for that. Well, with the Hawks, struggling to score inside the paint, I think Wemby's going to have a pretty good game today. I will never, ever not give out a Devin Vassell prop. And so Wemby and Devin Vassell's at 19.5. Wemby's at 20.5. I think both of those guys clear well into 20s into this game. I want to back. Do I want to back Trey or do I want to back DeJounte? I do think one of the backcourt is able to score. Actually, I mean, Jalen Johnson is still a really good play for me.
I really against his former team, unless you want that narrative.
Yeah, you could kind of play the narrative a little bit. Looking here at Spurs gotten a little bit better of guarding inside of the paint, so it may not come as easy as DeJounte as it has in the past. But I really do think that Atlanta's still going to be able to find ways to score. They're just going to squander this game. Like, they're going to squander the game.
Yeah.
And so that's, best bets, just give me Wemby and Devin Vassell, man. Wemby and Devin Vassell, but I do like Jalen Johnson. And Jalen Johnson double-double let me down last time out, but I'm willing to, try betting him again.
Billy Baller 2 pointing out Vassell is going to go for 25. And if you want to get ballsy, 30 plus here today for Devin Vassell. Do like Wemby here today. Points and rebounds for sure. I'll be on that. So we already came out and said that the Spurs, he's not going to be playing on the back-to-back situation. So he didn't play. So he's had 2 days off here. I know that he's kind of been in that range of around 25, 30 minutes, but
he's scoring in those minutes. Like
he's scoring and rebounding.
Inside. I would hate to back overs in somebody that's on a minutes restriction, but I mean, 20 minutes, he had a triple-double a week ago? 20-minute triple-double.
Yeah.
He's really good, man. He's really good.
What else?
You said Devin Vassell. Oh, yeah. Plus 240 for 25 plus 650 for 30 plus. Yeah, I'm rolling with Devin Vassell today. Hawks defense sucks.
Yep. With you on that for sure. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. Before we get into the next game here on the schedule, let me tell everyone about Hall of Fame bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL and NBA season with Hall of Fame bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. And for all of you listening right now, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I like Brett's call. He said Wemby will be talking to inside the NBA crew after the game. That's a call. Wemby top point scorer. Is that what you just said? That's what I heard. I heard he said he's taking Wemby top point scorer.
All right, Terrell, we're gonna call.
I wonder what that pays. Have you? Anybody see a line? Somebody find me a line on that because Trey's at 29.5, DeJounte's at 23.5, and then you have Wemby at 20.5. What's Wemby top point scorer in this game?
There might be like a DraftKings special, like top point scorer for the day.
Plus
like
650
for the day or for the game?
What for the game? Top point scorer. Yeah. Wemby's plus 650. Yes, sprinkle on that. And Vassell, of course, at 9-1, because that's insane. Vassell at 9-1 is insane. But sprinkle on both of them. Hell yeah. The Hawks terrible inside of the paint, plus 650. All he has to do is outscore Trae Young and DeJounte Murray and Devin Vassell, because Devin Vassell's gonna go off. Yeah. Oh wow, it just moved. It just went to plus 6-1. It just went to 6-1, as I said it, and Vassell went to 8-1. As I
You're
said,
watching us live. That's
what I'm
is.
saying. Like, that's all it is. We're moving lines out here, man. That's the play. I'm telling you, that's the play. Play
All right,
both of
Terrell.
those
Look,
top points.
we gotta call out our listeners here because we're in that competition against other shows for who sells the most merchandise on our SGPN merch store, right?
Yep.
So 15% off of everything in the merch store now to the end of January by using promo code playoffs. NBA Gambling Podcast, we're competing with all the other podcasts that are out there. So look, we have a lot of NBA gambling podcast merch on the merch store, whether it's t-shirts, coffee mugs, whatever you want. We're competing with the other shows. We need y'all to help us out. For the 96 of you watching right now on youtube.com/NBA Gambling Podcast, and if you're listening to us on the podcast platform, do us a favor. Go to the merch store. A lot of great designs, a lot of new stuff are happening right now. It's 15% off of anything in the merch store. And if you guys buy something from the merch store, whether it's you heard it here on the NBA Gambling Podcast, do us a favor and tweet it at us, screenshot us, and we'll give you a shout out here on the pod. And we'll do something special for you guys as well. So right now, we want to win this NBA Gambling Podcast. We want to win that competition. So go to the merch store, 50% off. Make sure you use that promo code playoffs. Tweet at us, screenshot us, slide into our DMs. We'll hook you guys up. We'll give you a shout out. We'll do something special for you guys who do buy that merch. Again, 15% off using promo code playoffs till the end of January. Terrell, anything else for the Spurs and Hawks game?
No, I'm good. Let's go.
All right, next game on the board here. Let's go to the Golden State Warriors. They are in Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. Currently, the Warriors are a 7.5 point favorite in this game with a total of 227. Looking at the injury report for the Golden State Warriors, guys that are officially out: Gary Payton II, Chris Paul, and Moses Moody. Draymond Green is officially back for the Golden State Warriors in this game. The note actually really just came across 15 minutes ago that Draymond Green available to play for the Golden State Warriors in this game against the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's get to the Memphis Grizzlies injury report here because it is significant. Guys that are out, we already know Steven Adams is out. Desmond Bane, Brandon Clark, John Morant, we know is gone for the rest of the season. Marcus Smart, Derrick Rose is also out, and Jake LaRivia is also out for this game. Two guys that are probable, Santi Aldama and Jaren Jackson Jr. Two guys that are questionable here for the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's start with the side here, Terrell, minus 7.5 in favor of the Warriors on the road in Memphis.
That was a Miami Heat level injury report.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. So here's the dilemma. Are you willing to put money down on Memphis? That's really the only question here. Like, at this point, you're not even considering, and Golden State has a lot of shit with them, but you're not even considering what all Golden State has going on. The question is, can I lay, or can I take Memphis in any form or fashion, like any form or fashion at all? I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I guess Jaren Jackson Jr. coming back is a good thing, but like, no Desmond Bane. Is this just I'd rather just take Jaren Jackson Jr. I'd rather any chance that I would have taking anything else. I'd rather probably just take Jaren Jackson Jr. to have a great day. And maybe this is a 30-point day for him. We've seen him be able to drop 30 or 40 in different times without Desmond Bane, without John Morant, and he's been able to handle a lot of that scoring workload, especially on the inside. And I think that's going to be a good place to attack for this Golden State team. Even with Draymond coming back and reconditioning himself, I think Jaren Jackson Jr. could still have a pretty nice day. I really don't want to lay points with Golden State, but taking Memphis sounds disgusting as well. I'd rather just lay it with Golden State. They're good on MLK Day. I talked about it earlier. They have one of the highest win percentages. It's a 7.5. It's a lot of points. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know how you could feel confident taking Memphis right now with the level of talent that they're putting out. It's a significant talent gap.
Yeah.
Even to this Golden State Warriors team that isn't anything at all. And I actually really hate this team now, but it's still a significant talent gap.
Yeah, Warriors have been better, obviously, on the road this season, at least against the spread. But in situations where they are an away favorite this season, they're 2-3 against the spread and 4-1 straight up.
Okay.
But again, like you mentioned with this Grizzlies team, like they are absolutely down to pretty much like their C squad players, like guys that are at the end of the bench because all the injuries that they are dealing with, right? So, how significant is it that Draymond Green is back? Obviously, it does help your offense and help Steph Curry not having to handle the ball, but how many minutes is he going to play as well? So, I mean, this is like an ultimate smash spot for the Warriors, but can I trust them? I don't think I can either. I like your point about Triple
No.
J.
I would much rather take some form of a Steph prop in Warriors money line than lay
Yeah,
this number.
that's a great point.
I would, whatever that is, if I can get it as close to, minus 115, even a little bit of plus money, like I
Yeah.
would much rather take any form of step prop in the Warriors money line than lay this number with the Warriors.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. And he's done well against his Grizzlies team last about 6-7 games here, 46, 36, 46, 27, 34, 29. Last game he only had 16, but
Is Jacob Gilliard's going to strap up Steph today? I mean, I
uh
understand, good defensive guy coming from Richmond. Shout out to the VA schools. No. I think Steph is going to go ahead and get it done.
JR pointing out Trey's gonna get ejected on MLK Day. Oh boy. Oh god. All right. Yeah, I really didn't have much else for this. Give me anything on the total of 227 here. Do you have anything on that?
I kind of want to go under, actually.
I think it's the fact like, dude, can the Grizzlies put up points in this game? Like, who's going to be scoring?
Yeah.
Like, is it Luke Kennard? Is it going to be Triple J if he plays? Like,
Luke Kennard could actually have a really good day here.
yeah.
The backcourt for Golden State is really, really lax defensively. If I was bold enough, I would even tempt myself with a Jacob Gilliard prop. But I do not like the defensive. I don't like the defensive intensity of that backcourt for Golden State. So, hey, Luke Kennard could be a little play. You might have to look into that.
What his 3-point props are.
Oh,
If it
yeah, I
is
like Zaire
out.
Williams too.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, nothing yet on the Memphis Grizzlies side. I think they're probably waiting for Triple J to be ruled in or out of this game. And they only have Klay Thompson and Steph Curry props up right now. But all right, anything else for this game?
No, I'm good.
All right, let's keep it rolling here. Next game on the schedule, we got the Chicago Bulls. They are in Cleveland to take on the Cavs. Cavs currently sitting as a 4-point favorite in this game with a total of 221. Looking at the injury report, let's start here with the Chicago Bulls. Guys that are out are the usual suspects, so I'm not going to read off the entire list. So Patrick Williams is questionable, and then Ayo Dosunmu.
I think we missed a game.
Did we miss a game? What did I miss?
Did we talk about Wizards Pistons?
Oh, we did not. So let me go back to that game then.
Yeah, that's a 3 o'clock game.
Okay, let me go back to that because I probably forgot.
I wish the NBA would start games on time.
Yeah, forgot to do the banner on that one. All right, so let me create a banner here real quick for that. So the Pistons, they are in the nation's capital to take on the Wizards. I think I saw the Wizards as a 6.5-point favorite in this game. Let's see here on DraftKings. It's down to 5.5 in this game. Total in this game is currently sitting at, where are we at? 240.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Detroit Pistons, obviously know Cade Cunningham is going to be out. We did also have that trade that transferred between these two teams over the weekend. The blockbuster trade of the January.
Hey, man, it's so funny because I saw the notification for that trade come across my phone, and it was like what movie was that in with Martin Lawrence, man, where he woke up, he's like, man, get that shit up out of here. I don't care, man. Yo, I mean, I guess, I don't know.
I guess, right? Yeah, that was just like, yeah, all right.
Gallinari and Mike Muscala, and then Marvin Bagley. Maybe Bagley might be good for the Wizards on the inside. Yeah, but Isaiah Livers definitely needed a change in location. His shooting has been terrible this year compared to last year.
Yeah, I agree. So for Detroit, Boyan Bogdanovic is questionable here. And for the Wizards, Johnny Davis is questionable, and the trade. So Marvin Bagley and Isaiah Livers and everybody part of this trade, they're not going to be making their debuts for their respective teams just yet. As they're so I think waiting for it to be finalized because it did happen over the weekend. But Terrell minus 5.5 in favor of the Wizards here hosting the Detroit Pistons. What are you thinking?
So Scott's rolling over on the Wizards here, minus 210. I think that's insane. I mean, I told Scott that I was questionable of this rollover thing because I had no idea when he would stop. Like, when do you stop? When do you feel like they're not gonna, there's no, I could always give a angle of the Pistons losing a game right now. Their Wizards are coming off a blowout win against Atlanta. Blowout win on the road against Atlanta, come back home. Killian Hayes is still starting. Killian Hayes is still starting for the Pistons. I can't take the Pistons. Give me Washington. Get done. minus 5.5. It's still Killian. If Killian Hayes wasn't starting in this game, then I probably would be on Detroit. But I can't trust. Give me Killian Hayes is going to turn the ball over. He's going to make stupid decisions. He's going to cost this game.
Yeah, I can't get behind this Pistons team. The Wizards.
I don't like backing the Wizards as a public favorite at all either. By the way.
Wizards are actually number 12 in defensive rating over the last 5 games.
Where's my drops? This is a toilet bowl game.
You see why I skipped over this game. I guess the Wizards, man. I'm not gonna have money on this game. I'll lay the 5.5 here with the Wizards, especially them being at home. I think that's the consolation here. Total 240.5. Any thoughts on that?
Over.
I think it's probably like Wizards team total over.
You don't think the Wizards are due for a letdown, at least in the scoring department?
If it was any other team outside this Pistons defense, yes, but they're down there with like the Warriors, the Raptors, the Blazers, and then it's the Pistons, the Hawks. Like, this defense is absolutely atrocious. I can't do it with this defense. If it was anybody else, yeah, but this should be easy pickings for the Wizards, at least offensively.
You know what? I lied. Give me under 240.
All right.
This is a rather early game, and I think the Wizards are due for a letdown in some department. And if I'm not going to fade them against the spread, it's got to be on the total. Because Detroit can't score.
No.
So I already kind of have that iffy thing going on with, and so if this is actually how Detroit games typically go, where they just get destroyed, Detroit might not score and Washington might not be pressed to score. So I actually going to Benedict there. Give me under 240.
Parlay Prince saying Life was the movie you were referring to about Martin Lawrence.
It was Life. Hey man, that is a hilarious movie. Wow, that is a good movie. It was definitely Life.
The boom boom room you looking at?
Hey, that's where Zion going in Dallas tonight. Zion going to the boom boom room. That's why he missed that first game. He was in the boom boom room a little too long.
You got any player props you're looking at?
In this one,
yeah,
kind of interested by Daniel Gafford actually.
Okay.
So you look at I'm actually very interested in Daniel Gafford because one, his backups are now playing on another team. So that's number one. His two backups are now playing on another team. They were really, really desperate to get rid of those guys backing him up. And then you look at this Pistons team, tied for the Hawks for the last in the past 5 games in terms of points inside the paint. Daniel Gafford, where does he do his work? He gets some end points inside the paint, and he was actually really, really good for a majority of the season in terms of scoring inside the paint. Let me see where he's at in the past 5 games. But I think that this is a pretty good opportunity for him to be able to help offset some of that Wizards scoring. The line's at 10.5. I don't need him to do much. I just need him to get to 11. That's a couple of dunks, a couple of putbacks, and we're good. So I like Daniel Gafford here today to get it done.
So Monty Williams came out and said that he's underutilizing Jaden Ivey. Obviously, he has no choice now but to play him with Cade being out. Um, it's just the part about Jaden Ivey is that he's not very efficient offensively. Like he's going to get the shot volume, but it's just the fact that can he be efficient from the floor? For the last 3 games without Cade Cunningham, he's gotten an average of 18 shots up. He's at 22 points, 19 and 18. So the number right now is at 20 and a half. I don't trust this backcourt defense of the Wizards either, whether it's Jordan Poole trying to guard him or Tyus Jones. Um, I think he can get to the basket there as well. So at 20 and a half, I don't hate that for Jaden Ivey. His assist prop might be tempting as well. He's averaging 5.6 over the last 5 games. He did have 8 assists against the Rockets. Missed that 3 that literally went in and popped out for the Pistons in that game. But yeah, that was the one I was looking at here. I don't hate your Daniel Gafford angle as well, especially he probably doesn't just have a choice but to play because he doesn't have his backups in the game. But that's all I have. Man, you have anything else?
No, I'm good. Let's go on.
All right, next game on the board here. Let's go back to that Chicago Bulls game. Bulls and the Cavs. Cavs currently laying 4 with a total of 221. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams. For the where do they go? For the Chicago Bulls, Ayo Dosunmu is probable and Patrick Williams is questionable. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland continues to be out. Evan Mobley is out as well. Max Strus is officially questionable in this game here as well for the Cleveland Cavaliers. So let's start with the side here. -4 in favor of the Cavs hosting the Chicago Bulls.
I hate this game. Are we just faking the Cavs coming back from Paris? Is that the angle?
I think so.
How did the Bulls and the Pistons played in the Paris game last year, right? Let's see here.
Yeah, when was that game? Was it on Thursday? No. Friday was the game? For the Cavs and the Brooklyn Nets. It was on Thursday. So they've had the entire weekend off. So they've had Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
Let me see here. When did they play that game?
Let me throw out some stats here while you find that here.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the Cavs here. So at least at home, they've been lackluster, I guess we could say, against the spread. 9, 10, and 1 is the spread. They are 12 and 8 straight up. Now, one thing that did stick out to me about the Cavs team is that over the last 5 games, they are actually the second best defensive rated team, right behind the New York Knicks. But I think for me in this game, like as soon as I saw Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic coming back, my first thoughts were like over in this game because over the last 5 games for both of these teams here, it's actually been trending towards the over. Let me actually pull those numbers up exactly. So last 5 games for the Chicago Bulls, the total is 4-1 to the over.
Mm-hmm.
And then also for the Cleveland Cavaliers, they've been a team that's been cashing in the over in the first half in particular. So at home this season, 13 and 8 towards the over, which is tied for the best mark in the entire association with the Dallas Mavericks. And for the Chicago Bulls on the road this season, at least over the last 10 games, they're 7 and 3 towards the over as well in that first half. So that was my first inclination, especially a huge defensive drop off when Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic are back for this lineup. Were you able to find those numbers?
So the Bulls came back from the Paris game and won 111, 100 against guess who? The Atlanta Hawks. So I didn't even check the Pistons side of the ball, but that's how they came back, and they have had a good amount of time. I think that if I do fade them anyway, it may be scoring, and just thinking that this is going to be a lower scoring game between the Cavs and the Bulls. I understand your over angle, especially with Vucevic and LaVine coming back, but and maybe the play is the Bulls. I was leaning Bulls anyway. Unfortunately, I hate both of these teams actually.
Yeah.
And I don't feel confident about either side, but I really don't like backing Cleveland after that big blowout win in Paris, coming back home, getting settled, having to play a game, it's not even been a week. It's almost a week. It's not been a week. You
Yeah.
said it was Thursday. It's Monday. They had the weekend off. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
still
3
a
days
little bit
off.
of rust. Could be a little bit of rust there. Maybe a Cleveland team total under is maybe the play that I like a little bit more in this game than either one of the sides, because I really think that Cleveland might have some issues scoring the basketball today, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but they could finish 105, 108, and we cash that.
Did you have you said you like the Bulls in the spot?
Yeah, I guess I guess I'll take the Bulls +4, but
Yeah, I didn't love this. I thought this number felt a little bit spot on here at -4. Player props, anything you're looking at?
let's see here. We have I kind of want to back Vucevic today.
Yeah, I was looking at his rebounds. I'm trying to pull up how he's done against the Cavs.
And I think he's going to score, even if he gets into a rebounding battle. And I think it will be a rebounding battle between him and Jared Allen. I think he's going to be able to score. I think I like points and rebounds for Vucevic today, and just like him to be able to get up and get going against this Cavs squad inside of the paint, battling with Jared Allen. If he and Jared Allen take each other out of this game, then it's going to open the door for that person even more. So yeah, I think I'm going to get there on Vucevic today, and just because I like the Bulls a little bit more than the Cavs.
So Vucevic in the last 4 games rebounding wise. So I'll read off the points as well. Last 4 games: 11 and 14, 20 and 13, 14 and 14, and then 20 points and 12 rebounds in the matchup they played on December 23rd. And then for Jared Allen, that last game against the Bulls on December 23rd, he had 19 points and 17 rebounds. Last 3 games, he scored 21, 23, and 19.
17 and a half for the points. Rebounds for Vucevic is sitting at 10 and a half. I really do like 10 and a half. Might have to just play the rebounds prop, but I think that points and rebounds is going to be a pretty solid play for Vucevic today. I think he can help offset some of that scoring, especially if Donovan Mitchell starts to get going in this one.
Yep. All right. Anything else?
No. What you got?
Yeah, I think I agree with you about the rebounding prop on Vucevic at 10.5. It is at -130, but I think that he does have a good rebounding night for is this the first night game here? So Vucevic over 10.5 rebounds. Jared Allen is at 12.5. If you want to look at his combo of points and rebounds to go over, he's really been balling as far as not only scoring the basketball, but also rebounding. And his assists have been there as well for Jared Allen. If you want to go PRA for him, I don't hate that angle. But he's averaging 14 rebounds over the last 5 games. He's been able to contribute on the point side as well. So maybe for a little bit of the same game parlay together with Nikola Vucevic and Jared Allen, I don't hate that look for this game.
Bigs parlay.
Yeah, it's a front court centers parlay. I think that would be a good angle for both Vucevic and Jared Allen in this game for sure. Anything else for this game, Terrell?
Somebody's asking for the money line in this game. We don't feel confident. I wouldn't bet this one, to be honest. If I had to lane somewhere, I'd probably guess I'd lane Bulls, but I don't like either one of these teams. I'm not gonna hold you. But we're talking about bigs. You play your bigs against this next team.
Yep. We have the Boston Celtics. They are in the North to take on the Toronto Raptors. Raptors are currently catching 7 points against the Boston Celtics with a total of 242 in this game. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown is officially questionable for this game. I did see a note that he did not go through shoot around on Monday, so that means more than likely he is going to be out for this game. But other than that, pretty clean injury report for the Boston Celtics. For the Toronto Raptors, Jakob Poeltl is going to be out. He's going to be out for, I think it said 2 to 3 weeks. Otto Porter Jr. is out for this game as well. And Christian Koloko is out for this Raptors team as well. So let's start with the side here, -7 in favor of the Boston Celtics. Obviously, I think we already know where you're going, but anything you want to add to the Toronto side?
No, man. Don't trust Celtics. Take Toronto in the points. Celtics might win the game. Are they covering this line? I don't know. They've squandered out here in the past, but I'm not betting this Boston team.
Yeah, they haven't been very good on the road as far as the ATS, right? Straight up 11-9 on the road are the Boston Celtics, 7-11-2 against the spread on the road. But as an away favorite, 6-10-2 against the spread, only covering at around 37.5%. And obviously, since the trade, this
Mm-hmm.
Raptors team has been very good offensively, obviously with Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett in there for them as well. I know we were hearing the rumors about Pascal Siakam possibly being the next domino to fall in the Toronto Raptors, but I like what I've seen from Scotty Barnes. I like what I've seen offensively for this team. Boston coming off with a huge blowout victory against the Rockets here. They might be a little bit fat and happy. It's always also traveling, it's always tough traveling up to the north this
Mm-hmm.
time of the year as well. So I'll take the points here with the Raptors. I think that's too many points here for this Boston Celtics team, despite how good have they been on the season. Total at 242 here, Terrell. I think my favorite play probably in the day here is probably going to be the over in this game here. What are your thoughts on the
Really?
total? Yeah.
So teams that played 3 times this season. Boston dominated the first matchup, 117-94. That went under 223. And then the next 2 games is when Toronto was really scrappy and kept these games close, 108, 115 in Toronto. Boston didn't cover as a 9-point favorite, and that game went under. And then the lone over 228.5, 120, 118. Boston didn't cover as a 5-point favorite there in Boston. I, I am I'm a little undecided about the total. I let me hear if you could sway me to the over, because 241 just kind of feels like both of these totals earlier didn't even eclipse 230 an hour, and 241. It feels like a little high, but you also don't have any rim protection at all for this
Yeah.
Toronto team. Like
And you
none,
also go ahead. I'm sorry.
no rim protection. That's all I was saying. There's no rim protection at all. It's Thaddeus Young and Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, and I think that's one part of it as well, right? And on this roster is completely different now, obviously with no OG Anunoby, that was by far their best defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
The last 5 games for this Toronto Raptors team, they've been the number 5 team offensive efficiency wise, but their defensive rating is actually second worst in the entire league. They're right down there with the Golden State Warriors at 129.6. You also take a look at pace. Toronto top 5 in pace over the last 5 games. The
Mm-hmm.
Boston Celtics top 10 in pace. And we know they're pretty good offensively, right? There's on the season, they've been consistently top 5. They've fallen off a little bit over the last 5 games. They're at number 9, but I've been cashing in with this Raptors team since the trade that they made with the Knicks on the overs, right? We saw a shootout
Mm-hmm.
when they played the Lakers. I think that Jazz game went over the total as well. So I like the over in this game. I think that again, it's completely different rosters, and the style of play has really changed from the prior couple meetings this season between the Raptors and the Celtics. Where I think the Raptors are a little bit more up tempo. They've been able to get 3-point shots off, and like you mentioned, that neither one of these teams is going to have rim protection in this game. So I think that should be easy baskets around the basket as well.
All right. You might have sold me. You might have sold me. This All right, I can go over 241. It's a lot. It is a lot. I'll
It's a
admit
lot of
that.
points, yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was going to come in somewhere around maybe it opened up at 237. I thought that might be, pretty solid. I didn't think it would
Mhm.
go up any further after that. And so 241, it's a lot, but I agree with you, and I like that. I like that analysis that you're talking about Toronto defensively, and you add bringing in what is that quickly and RJ
And
Barrett.
RJ
It's not
Barrett, yeah.
really, yeah, it's not really, especially losing OG and Precious Achua, who are 2 of your better defenders. I like it. I like it. So Toronto team total over. I'm not even gonna waste my time with Boston side of the ball. Last time I took it over, Boston didn't show up.
Yeah.
Thank you to the Milwaukee Bucks for playing defense one time around, and then Boston not bringing anybody else out. I don't know how I didn't cash that lock of the over in that game. It was actually pretty annoying.
All right, Terrell, let's get over any player props you like in this game.
So we have Toronto, who can't stop anything inside the paint. They have 0 rim protection. And so here, I think that I would like to play. I would have loved Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown gets inside the paint. He's one of the top 20 leading scorers in points inside the paint this season.
Mhm.
He's sitting at 11 over the past 5 games. I would have loved Jaylen Brown, but it seems like he's not going to play today. So Porzingis, maybe a little bit more Porzingis inside the paint today. Probably get some easy looks for Jason Tatum there, but Jaylen Brown was really my play. So hearing him not play, it just makes me feel better about Toronto.
Yeah, officially questionable is the tag for Jaylen Brown, but again, it's a big indicator when he doesn't participate in shoot around. Usually for the players that either participate in shoot around or don't participate, they usually end up playing or not playing. But yeah, it's either Porzingis as a pivot or probably Derek White as well. His numbers at 14 and a half in this game for his points. I would look at probably Derek White as a pivot. For the
JR's talking about the Tatum legacy game on MLK. He did have the third highest scoring game last year on MLK Day, 51 against the Charlotte Hornets. What was that? Only Kemba with 52 was better on MLK Day game, and Dame in 2020 with 61 was better than that, but not too many better than Jason Tatum and what he did. Did they win that game? Was that a win or was that a loss?
For who?
For Boston that day. He's put up 50 in a loss before, and I feel like it was it that game? I don't think it was that game.
Let me see if I can find it here. Jason Tatum, 50.
What was the score of that game?
This was last year against Charlotte. He dropped 51, and they ended up winning the game 130-118 over the Hornets.
Okay, it wasn't that one. It's another one I'm thinking about. I'll find it. Sorry.
I was going to mention
Boston team.
Yeah, Jason Tatum also got ejected in the last game against the Rockets as well. Arguing, I guess, foul calls, but
he really wasn't getting calls. Like, he really wasn't getting calls. I will say that, and I will give Jason Tatum that. He really wasn't getting calls, and at some point, it's gonna boil over a edge. I will give him that.
All right. Anything else for this game, Terrell?
Nah, let's get to our next one.
Yeah, we got 3 games left here. Let's go to the Miami Heat. They are visiting the Brooklyn Nets. Nets currently sitting as a 2-point favorite in this game with a total of 221. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams here, let's start with the Brooklyn Nets here. They are going to be without Daron Sharp. Ben Simmons continues to be out as well. But on that, pretty clean injury report. No injury reports submitted yet for the Miami Heat because they are on a back-to-back here. They did play yesterday against, oh God, I don't remember who they played against because it was the Hornets. They got the 104-87 victory in that game. Now traveling from Miami to Brooklyn. So let's start with the side here. 2-point favorites in favor of the Brooklyn Nets. What are you thinking about this game?
I can't trust Brooklyn. I can't take Brooklyn for anything. And I mean, this is what Miami does. Miami gets somebody hurt the day before, and then they come out and win the game. Jaime Jaquez Jr., he's more than likely not playing this game. He left that game early yesterday. And so, I mean, we'll see. Does Jimmy Butler decide to make one of his few appearances in the regular season? Possibly. But Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, that's enough for me for this Miami team, honestly, truly. Like, they constantly find ways to get it done. It doesn't matter who they trot out there. And at this point, it's no point in even reading out the injury report because they can be missing 3 of 5 starters and still go out there and win the game as a dog or be able to cover or be competitive. And this Brooklyn Nets team, pretty atrocious. Pretty atrocious team. I don't want to lay any type of points with them. So I'm just going to take Miami in the system play of the day. Miami as a dog.
Yeah, Jaime Jaquez has already been ruled out for this game with a groin injury. So
there's no way he was coming back.
In mind. Yeah. I think I like the Miami side here as well. I just have, like you mentioned, can you trust this Nets team? Early on in the season, they were out of the gate. They were one of the best.
They were like 16-5 at one point. ATS. They were It was like 16-5-1 at one point. I was sitting here like, oh man, they're number 1 ATS. They're good. And then I think that was the jinx. Because they're now 19-18-1. You went from 16-5-1 to 19-18-1.
And they haven't been very good offensively either, right? They're the 4th worst offensive rated team of the last 5 games as well. So, and I know Miami obviously compromised with not having Jaime Jaquez and possibly Jimmy Butler in this game as well. But I think I still trust Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero to put up the points or 3-point shooters. Whether it is Caleb Martin, whether it is Duncan Robinson, I think there's enough there for this Miami Heat team to cover this +2 and obviously get the outright victory here as well. I'm on the under here, 221. Like I mentioned, I can't trust the Brooklyn Nets to put up points in this game. and they haven't been. These are two teams that don't play with a lot of pace either. Miami is tied for the slowest pace of the last 5 games. Brooklyn Nets are right there, bottom 10 as well. So I'm on the under 221 in this game here. Defensively, they've been okay, but I just think that, again, the pace and the lack of bodies for the Miami Heat, it'll probably be a grinded out type of game here. So I'm on the under here. You have any thoughts on the total?
No, no, I really don't. I mean, I kind of like an over, to be
Okay.
honest. I kind of like an over because I think Brooklyn sucks defensively, and I'm not really like I don't know who's guarding Bam on the inside and who should really stop him. But because this is a good matchup for Bam, it probably means Bam's not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Going on 2 years without betting Bam, it's pretty comfortable here. I don't have to worry about anything. Those games that Bam has where he just folds out of nowhere, I don't have to worry about those. So Tyler Hero, I think he has a splendid day. I don't think Spencer Dinwiddie, maybe Mikal Bridges if he's his primary defender, but I think they'll be able to get the switch and they're going to go and get Tyler Hero in some favorable situations because they're really, really going to need his scoring, especially with the injuries they have. And then we'll see if Air Jordan makes an appearance today. I'm not optimistic, but if he does, it'd be nice. It's MLK Day, so Air Jordan might actually decide to come play. By the way, get an Air Jordan shirt in the store.sports gambling podcast, 15% off in the NBA gambling podcast section. Air Jordan shirt.
Speaking of the merch store, I already got a DM on somebody that already purchased something here.
What? What's their name?
Risks Bets just sent me a DM or about 20 minutes ago saying he bought the Air Jordan shirt, like you just mentioned, Terrell.
Oh, okay.
He bought a DGen University sweatshirt. He bought a Ref R Terrorist t-shirt, and he bought a Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover t-shirt as well. And he applied the playoffs promo code. He got himself 15% off. A man of the people. I will make sure that he gets taken care of as well. Got to run a couple of things by the bosses before we start handing stuff out here. But thank you, Risk Bets, for supporting us and getting that merch purchase. Again, 15% off using that promo code playoffs. Slide into our DMs. Help the show out. Appreciate you guys. Anything else for this game, Terrell?
Nah, let's keep going.
All right, 2 games left here. Let's get over to the game between the Indiana Pacers against one of the hottest teams maybe in the association right now, the Utah Jazz. They are currently laying 7 points against the Indiana Pacers at home here with a total of 245. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, Indiana did play yesterday in Denver, so they do get that extra time to submit that injury report. For the Utah Jazz, again, pretty clean injury report. Everybody is healthy. This team has been playing well.
They're not tanking. They are not tanking.
Yes, officially not.
Everybody that wants Laurie, just forget about it. Forget about it. He's not leaving. They're not trading him. They're not trading him. Anybody that wanted any trade assets from Utah, it's not happening. It's not happening. 25-16 against the spread, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games, 15-4 at home.
7 points. Are you willing to lay it here with the Jazz?
Let's do it. I don't care. Lay it. I'm not fading this team right now. I'm not doing it.
They are hot.
This could be it. This could be crazy. This could absolutely be crazy. But how do I fade this team right now?
You can't.
They just keep rolling. They keep rolling. They keep rolling. Utah Jazz are inevitable. I'll say it. Utah Jazz are inevitable. Even if they don't, like, there's so many spots coming up that OKC is coming to Utah before the end of the week. That's gonna be a game. That's going to be a game. Because Utah's gonna protect home court. That's gonna be a game. That game's gonna be close. And then look at their schedule. They play Golden State, OKC, Houston on the road. All right, we start talking about road Utah Jazz. New Orleans on the road, Washington on the road, Charlotte on the road, Brooklyn on the road. Like Washington, Charlotte, Brooklyn. 3 road games against 3 pretty solid teams. This team isn't tanking. This team's not tanking.
Last 10 games at home, the Jazz are 8-2 against the spread. Last 10 overall, Let's see here. I just had it in front of me. 8-2 against the spread, which is the best. And again, this team offensively over the last 5 games, I believe they were the second. No, actually, they're the number 1 offensive rated team over the last 5 games in the entire association. They have a net rating of plus 14.8, which is third best in the entire association. I think, yeah, I like the Jazz in this game, but I think my more favorite play might just be their team total to go over because they have just been absolutely balling and playing great on the offensive side, whether it's been Keontae George, you mentioned Lauri Markkanen, John Collins has been knocking down 3-point shots. The guys coming off the bench, Walker Kessler, Ochi Abachi, and Jordan Clarkson. Those 3 guys have been the first 3 off the bench, and they've been carrying that second unit as well. So lay it here with the Jazz. Team total over for me for the Utah Jazz. What do you think about the total?
Yeah, I like the Utah Jazz team total over. They've been better defensively, and it's like being 12th in the past 5 games in points per game for the Utah Jazz is might as well being a top 5 defense because this team has been towards the bottom defensively, not just this season, but last season as well. And the fact that they're even forcing these matchups with other teams and being able to keep their scoring low and then put up points themselves. Like, did you see what they did against the top teams in the East?
Yeah.
Yo,
they went in there and got outright victories.
And they're holding, but it's like they're holding teams to low totals. They're not even, you look at it. I mean, yes, 125 to the Lakers that last game out, 113 against Toronto, 111 against Denver, 116 against Milwaukee, 109 against Philly. Like, that's really good. That's really, really good. I'm going to just go. I'm with you. I think they're going to score 120, 132, 124, 145, 132 over the past 5 games. Same total over for me, but I'm very hesitant on that full game over because they just kind of stepped it up a little bit more defensively. Not saying they're great. They're not great defensively, but it's not like teams are just walking into 120 like they used to be.
And this team has a rim protection as well, right? We talk about the Walker Kesslers of the world. We talk about even the Lauri Markkanens of the world. Like, he can block shots, and they're also limiting second chance opportunities as well for the opposition. So that's why I pivoted to the Jazz team total over as well. Player props, what are you looking at?
All right. I agree with the chat. Chat says they like a lot of props in this game. I think Clarkson definitely has a pretty good game here. Yeah, man. I mean, this Indiana team, I've roasted Indiana all year for how bad they've been, defensively giving up all these points. We've been on overs the whole year. This is Rick Carlisle. Like, this is a Rick Carlisle-led team, and you know that Rick Carlisle teams aren't going to be good defensively. I could have told you that they were leading in overs beginning of the season because it's a Rick Carlisle-led team. So I'm here. Points inside the paint. I think that they're going to struggle there, and they're going to allow a lot of easy buckets. Clarkson, Sexton, able to drive to the lane, score at ease, not really worried about any rim protection on this. I mean, Miles Turner, he gets his blocks, and then he just really doesn't do anything else. Like, he just I'm going to go get a couple blocks, and then I'm really not going to do anything else defensively. And it kind of, makes him look like he's a better defender than what he really is in this point in the season. So, yeah, I'm all over Sexton and Clarkson. Again, 2 guys in the backcourt that drive, get to the rim.
Sexton has 4 straight games of 20-plus points for the Utah Jazz. Throughout the last 4, he scored at least 21, and then he had a 27-piece against the Denver Nuggets. His points prop right now is sitting at 19.5. I do like that. You mentioned JC. Oh, sorry, that's Jordan Clarkson. I'm sorry. Jordan Clarkson, 4 straight games of 20-plus points. His points prop right now is sitting at 19.5 as well at minus 105. Colin Sexton as well. He's been doing real well for this Jazz team. Over the last 5 games, he's averaging 22 points. And him also, for the last 5 games, has scored 20-plus points for this Utah Jazz team. So they're clicking on all cylinders. They're playing well, man. Yeah, you got to buy the stock right now before we have to jump off the ship for the Utah Jazz. But anything else for this game, Terrell?
No, man. I'm just, you know me. I can't wait for Utah to not win and cover so I can hammer them the next game.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, we got to add the Utah Jazz are inevitable shirts in the merch store.
Cap Quest pointing out, are we nominated for any sports podcast awards? Not just yet. We're part of the network. We do our best. We carry the load on the network, Terrell. I think that's we got to put it that way for these sports
Yeah, for
gambling
sure.
podcast networks.
You
Yeah.
know, a college show, they all right.
Yeah.
Mothership Pod, they cool, but it's us. It's us.
All right, let's get to the next game here. We got, I think we still have two more games. Oh, sorry, last game of the night here. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are in Hollywood to take on the Lakers. Lakers currently as a 1-point favorite in this game, with a total of 238 in this game. Let me double check the line here. Yeah, 238.5 is now the total. Injury report: OKC does have SGA. He is officially listed as questionable with a right knee sprain. For the LA Lakers, usual suspects, Braun and AD on the injury report. AD is probable, LeBron is questionable. Cam Reddish has been ruled out for this game, and Gabe Vincent continues to be out for this team as well. Start with the side here, Terrell. -1 in favor of the Lakers hosting the OKC Thunder.
It's super easy. If SGA plays, I'm taking OKC. If SGA isn't playing, I will probably not take the Lakers, but I'll lean Lakers.
Literally
But
just took the words out of my mouth.
it's. I mean, come
It's that
on,
simple.
guys. SGA and Thunder is just like I'm just gonna continue to take SGA and Thunder until it kills me. And right now, it hasn't killed me. It may not have cashed every single time, but it cashes way more than it doesn't. Because why? SGA is an MVP candidate. This Thunder team is a wagon. They've been a wagon for a long time, ATS, and just turns out that even though they started laying points more and that they're actually good and they actually have expectations this season, still 26-11-1.
They've been one of the better teams, if not one of the best teams against the spread this season. And I think that we talked about this over the last several seasons that at a point, and I think that turning point was last season for this OKC Thunder team, because outside of SGA, like they have guys that can hoop. Like we talked about the Jalen Williams of the world, them getting Chet back as well. The supporting cast has been playing well for this team as well, and they're very well head coached. Lakers at home this season, 13-7 straight up, but just 8-12 against the spread. And I think I want to say this OKC Thunder team just has a number of the Lakers. For from a matchup perspective, I'm trying to find the ATS numbers between these two teams over the last last season. So it's right around 3-2, so right around 500. It is 4-1 to the over. I'll mention that, but like Terrell said, if SGA is in, I want the Thunder this game. Thoughts on the total here, Terrell? Anything on that?
No, I only thing that I like. Wow, I did not know we had the same birthday. All right, me and OKC coach Mark Dog. I don't even know.
Mark
Dagnall, whatever.
Yeah.
I was really looking him up because you talked about it, and it made me think that if I was sitting next to him on a bus, I would never know that I was sitting next to OKC's coach. Like, I just thought about it. I'm like, man, he's been there for a while and he is a really good coach. I have no idea what this man looks like. No idea what this man looks like. I would not know that. I couldn't pick that man out of the lineup. I'm sorry to that man. So I just went to look up a picture of him, and I'm pretty sure that give me about an hour and a blunt, and I'm probably still not going to remember what he looks like. But I think that's hilarious. We have the same birthday. So add that February 23rd, me, D'Angelo Russell, Jamal Murray, Andrew Wiggins, Mark Dagnall.
Golly, you got a squad right there as a starting.
Hey, man, we could go. We could go on a run. We might go on a little run. I may not be a big Jamal Murray fan, but I know he could hoop. Hey, we might go on a little run. Just don't pass the ball to me.
You're just that fifth guy on the court.
Hey, man,
let's fill out that starting five. He got
hey, you know how fast I'm. You seen what was it when Calvin and Mike, when Calvin's shoes got messed up and he did not want no parts of the ball, and he and Tracy just playing catch.
GR pointing out you got a birthday parlay for your birthday there as well.
Oh yeah, I play it every year, and at one day all those guys are gonna cash a birthday game for me, and I'm gonna hit like 5 figures or 5-6 figures or something like that on my birthday. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. One day those guys will actually all have a good birthday game. All of them will have a good birthday game, and it's gonna be crazy.
You just got to make sure they're all playing on. Oh yeah, we'll have to see if they're all playing on that day for the birthday parlay. All right. Anything else for this game? What you got?
Huh? I might not be on the show. I might be a little smidge. My birthday's on a Friday this year. I didn't even realize that. Oh, they're playing the Wizards. Duh. It's no fun. Okay, so we got all right. So Dagnall has a game. Andrew Wiggins potentially has a game. We'll see if
Potentially,
Andrew
yeah.
Wiggins is still with the Warriors that day. Jamal Murray has the game, and D'Lo has games.
D'Lo may not be
Yeah,
there either.
he might not. Hey man, all right, let's close the show.
All right, you got anything else for the Thunder Lakers?
Nah. It's just SGN Thunder for me. That's really it.
All right. All right, let's get into our lock and dog here. Then we'll put together our underdog fantasy entry to wrap up the show. You want to lead us off?
Okay. For my lock, let's see. It's a lot of games on today. Don't want to. I'm gonna avoid picking some of the earlier games for the people that are catching us on podcast version. So, Golden State line went up.
Yeah, it's up to 8.
Dang, I actually do kind of feel better about the early games. I really don't want to put the people through that though. I can always go Utah. That Utah team total might be it. That might be it.
Yeah.
Let me see here. What line does DraftKings Sportsbook have for me on the Utah Jazz team total over? Because the Utah Jazz are inevitable. I told you the point when we had the conversation of the points that they are putting up over the last 5 games. They're scoring in the 130s and 140s pretty easily over some pretty solid teams. You look at the last 5 games and what they're doing. They're scoring 132 against the Lakers, 145 against Toronto, 124 against the Denver Nuggets, 132 against Milwaukee, 120 against Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia is top 5 defense, by the way. So I will take this Utah Jazz team total over 126.5 at minus 105. Only thing I'm concerned about is a blowout. That's it. That's the only thing. The Jazz have to beat themselves for me not to cash this. So
But
I like
even their
that
bench
team
can
total
score.
over. Yeah. So I like that team total over. For my dog, is it Miami?
Yeah, I think
To
that was
avoid
your favorite dog on the board.
taking the Spurs early in the slate or the Dallas early in the slate, it had to be Miami. I just trust fate in this Nets team, honestly. Let me see here. Tyler Hero, but that's not enough on the money line, for me.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I was like,
I don't have a line because I don't have anything on the Heat players yet. But Tyler Hero, 20 plus, Heat money line, that's at plus 110 right now. That should get me over my plus 140 threshold pretty easily. I'll take that. Tyler Hero, 20 points, 20 plus points, or 25 plus. Let's not be scared. 25 plus for Tyler Hero and Heat money line. I don't know what that pays yet, but I'll tweet it out later.
All right. All right. For my lock, it's either the Raptors plus the points or just lay it with the Jazz. Maybe we'll go a different route. You know what? I really like the under in the Magic and the Knicks game. So I think we'll still have 3 hours so that game tips off. So plenty of time for people to get to it. So Orlando Magic, New York Knicks under 220.5. We mentioned the numbers. Traditionally, these two teams match up. It trends towards the over. Like Terrell mentioned, the last 4 games have gone under. And then even historically, even going back 8-19-1, 19-8-1, I should say, towards the under as well. So they match up very well. Pace is the slowest for both these teams as well. And offensively, they just have not been very good. And we know since a trade for the Knicks and the Raptors with OG Anunoby coming over to the Knicks that they've been the best defensive rated team. So I'll take the under 220.5. For my dog, we talked a lot about some rebounds that we really do like here. So I'm going to go Wemby over 9.5 rebounds. I'm going to go Vucevic over 10.5 rebounds. And then I think we'll stick to that because that gives me a nice plus 200 on that. So we'll do that. I'll throw Anthony Davis in there as well if you want to get a little bit better odds. That'll get you to plus 412. But I'll keep it at Wemby over 9.5 rebounds, Nikola Vucevic over 10.5 rebounds, and that'll get you around plus 200. plus 198 to be exact, over on DraftKings for my dog of the day. All right, Terrell, before we wrap it up here, let's get to our Underdog Fantasy entry here for the MLK Day games in the association. Again, if you don't have an account already, make sure you use that promo code SGPN. You'll get a first deposit match of up to $100 using promo code SGPN. All right, Terrell, where do we want to start with our entry here for?
I like that Vucevic play.
All right, you want
I
to
like
go
the
with
Wemby play too. I mean, we could play both of those.
All right, so let's go Vucevic, higher 10.5 rebounds. Let's go Wemby, higher 10 rebounds. You want to throw in one more here?
Let's see.
We talked about JC. We talked about Colin Sexton.
Now that Embiid 9.5 free throws made is calling me, but I really don't want to do the podcast. We got to take care of the podcast listeners too. We got to give them a play in case they miss this. Well, they're gonna miss it for sure. They're for sure gonna miss this game. But let's see. I mean, points. Let's go to Utah. We got to get something from Utah.
Yeah, I was gonna either Sexton or JC. I'll leave it up to you. They're both at 19.5 points.
You know what? Somebody else, I can't remember who it was, but I saw somebody else in the chat said JC earlier. So let's do JC.
All right. I think the matchup, I like it better, especially with going up against the bench of the Pacers. All right, so we'll throw in JC in there. All right, so our entry, we're going to go Nikola Vucevic, higher 10.5 rebounds. Victor Wembanyama, higher 10 rebounds. And then Jordan Clarkson, higher 19.5 points. That $50 entry will get you a nice return of $300 if you go 3-4-3 to start off this week of the new NBA schedule here on MLK Day here. Terrell, anything else we want to mention, my man, before we get out of here?
No, man, no. Appreciate everybody. I think we got up to 111 people that was in the chat at one point. So
I just took a screenshot at 115.
115. Yeah. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to everybody. Help keep growing. Tell a friend. YouTube.com/sportsgambling podcast.
100%. Appreciate everybody joining us in the chat as usual. Appreciate everybody that supports the podcast. If you haven't already, lift us a rating and review. Please go ahead and do so for the NBA Gambling Podcast, whether you listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever the case might be. Again, shout out to Risk Bets for getting in the merch store using that promo code to get 15% off. If you do, again, tweet it at us, send us a screenshot. We'll shout you out on the pod. We'll try to hook you guys up with some stuff as well behind the scenes for the SGPN. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, same place for the NBA Gambling Podcast. Enjoy your MLK Day as well. Do something nice for someone on this day as well. Appreciate it again. Make sure to follow Terrell on Instagram and on Twitter at reallyrail__. You can follow me on Twitter at sportsnerd824 and make sure to subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube channel. Till then, good luck with your bets here today. Let's break these books off and let it ride.